This is the BBC.
This podcast is supported by advertising outside the UK.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.
Hi, my name's Eddie Hearn, and this is No Passion, No Point.
Hi, I'm Andy Goddard. I'm the producer of No Passion, No Point, and we're going to do something a little different this time. This week we've been in New York, and it has been a huge one for Eddie and our guest this week, Katie Taylor, following her fight at Madison Square Garden with the Belgian hopeful Delfine Persoon.
What an honour to be sitting here in Madison Square Garden. You will see one of the great atmospheres in this country for boxing on Saturday night. Around 8,000 Brits coming here to sing Sweet Caroline, to drink your bars dry, to show you how to create an amazing atmosphere. This is an amazing moment promoting the World Heavyweight Championship at Madison Square Garden, but we needed to produce an undercard that we could all remember. We're going to start with Delfine. Delfine, welcome.
If I go for the fight, then I'm gonna go for the fight and I can win the fight. I think I'm the first Belgian boxer that can make, history, and we go for it.
Ladies and gentlemen, making her way to the stage, undefeated as a professional, the lightweight champion of the world, Katie Taylor!
This is the pinnacle of boxing, to have all 5 belts. The Ring Magazine belts, as you said, is up for grabs as well. This is exactly what every fighter dreams of, really. So I understand how big this fight is, the magnitude of this event, but I can't wait for this. This is why I box. These are the fights I've always wanted, and I'm ready to make history.
After 10 rounds of action here at Madison Square Garden in New York City, we go to the judges' scorecards. Don Trella, 95 even. Alan Nace and John Poteray both score the bout 96-94 for your winner by majority decision. And now the undisputed lightweight champion of the world, Katie Taylor!
A great week for Katie, but as many of you will already know, not such a great week for Anthony Joshua, following his bout with the much-dismissed Andy Ruiz Jr.
268 pounds for the challenger, Andy, the Destroyer Ruiz Jr.
Everyone was expecting him to come in low 250s. I suppose he's just going to let his hands go and see what happens. That's what he can do.
There's Joshua, I don't know, 6'6", 250. But the Doughboy is fighting. Got to be pretty good to get into the fight, but I don't know.
Two days after the dust settled, I caught up with Eddie in his offices at One World Trade Center and found him in a reflective mood.
Right, so
Good view, by the way, isn't it?
it's fabulous.
Unbelievable.
Eddie, tell us where we are.
So we're in, I call it the Matchroom Boxing LLC's head office. It is a little bit of a cheat because we do share it, but I'm still claiming it all, the entire building that is One World Trade Center. We are currently looking out over just the most stunning views of the Hudson. Beautiful day, 23 degrees. and just really getting over a mad weekend, really. I mean...
Well, let's go back a bit further, shall we? Like, what happened this whole week?
So, AJ, American debut. It was just the most brilliant week. The build-up, I mean, you were around it. You know, Monday, the media party, Tuesday, the workouts, Wednesday, the undercard press conference, Thursday, the main press conference, Friday, the weigh-in. It was just incredible, culminating in fight night. And it's bittersweet, really, for me, because as a promoter, all you really ever want to do is put on a great show. And you only really want to give people value for money, make the broadcasters happy, the fans in the arena happy, the people watching at home happy. And there is no doubt that we did all of those. We gave everybody unbelievable value for money. But we lost. Although we win as a team, we lose as a team. AJ will tell you, and as he said in the press conference after, losing is unacceptable. You know, we've got a winner's mentality, and we're all in this together. Of course, he's the guy who's ultimately, unfortunately for him, the pressure's on him. He's got the responsibility to go in there and perform. It was just, a devastating defeat. One we didn't really expect. We knew Ruiz was dangerous, and, it's quite depressing now, sort of reading the comments of certain people like, Eddie Hearn got AJ beat because, Ruiz was this and Ruiz was like... 4 days ago, Ruiz was a fat slob who was a joke opponent. You know what I mean? Now he's like this, the style was all wrong. I mean, it's unbelievable. He got beat by the better man on the night, and he should have won the fight. He didn't win the fight. He had him badly hurt in the third round. He tried for the big finish, in front of the American fans, and got caught by a shot that he never really recovered from. And what we saw was one of the biggest heavyweight shocks of all time. But we also saw an amazing fight, and now it's down to Anthony. We know we've got the opportunity for a rematch, and as far as I'm concerned, that's the only fight. And I even saw one today on social media. This is just all a fix. Eddie Hearn made him lose, so the rematch would be huge. I'm like, what planet do these people live on?
Oh, yeah, I saw that
but
one.
I must admit, the rematch is huge. Yeah. But there's so much pressure on a rematch, because if he loses that second fight, then his career's not in a great place. I mean, at the moment, he's lost his world title belts, and he's got a chance to win them back. But if he was to lose that second fight, that is sort of not career-ending, but it starts to make you think about your career. And that's long before we expected that moment to happen.
What do you think he needs to do to beat Ruiz?
In terms of what he's got to do, I actually watched the fight back today. I think it was only really the mistake of not keeping his discipline when he had the chance to finish him. He tried to load up, go for the big finish, got caught with a shot and never really recovered. Ruiz was really good, clever, fast hands, all the things we knew he was. But I think AJ let Ruiz dominate the fight a little bit from the middle of the ring. Loads of stuff to work on. And I'm not saying, the rematch is by no means a foregone conclusion. I mean, Ruiz's confidence is going to go through the roof. AJ's confidence probably isn't going to be the same. I think he was too overconfident.
Yeah, I think he underestimated him.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to underestimate someone when everyone's saying, Ruiz, look at him, he's not great. Yeah, all the conversations I had with him and the team had with him, everyone knew this would be a proper fight. That's why we chose him. And again, it's like, you can't win, can you? Because you choose a guy he beats easy, and it's a joke, he's a cherry picker, and then you choose a guy he gets beat by, and it's bad matchmaking. Why'd you give him someone so tough? It's like, hang on a minute, isn't that what you want as fans? Don't you want a proper fight? So that's what we gave you. He wanted that. He always wants that. He always wants the challenge. And I believe that 8 or 9 times out of 10, he beats Andy Ruiz. But unfortunately, Saturday night was the one that went wrong. And, the mindset and the demeanour is a better word of Anthony Joshua is, it's okay. It's okay to lose. It's not okay to lose, but if you lose, you got to take it like a man. And I want to show people that if you happen to lose in life, you can bounce back. And it's a great mindset, but I know him better than that. I know deep down he's really hurting right now, and this will be eating him up. Not because he's lost the belts, not because he's lost the money, not because he felt humiliated in that ring, because he lost. And because he don't like losing. Knowing AJ like I know him, he should only ever get unbelievable support from the British public. He never does anything wrong. He lives the life to give other people, generations, his family, to set an example about mindset, work ethic, humbleness. And he's just a great, great guy, great individual. So I want you to support him. I want you to give him the support. Fury sent him a nice message. I've been there, I've been down. You'll come back. And, I think that should be the mindset of the entire British public.
And look, he's just arrived.
Katie Taylor. All right.
Hello.
What do you think of the view?
How are you feeling? It's hell of a fight.
Yeah, I'm feeling okay, thanks.
Thanks for seeing my kids yesterday.
They're gorgeous kids. Your older girl is a character.
Oh, no, she's hard work. She's so stuck.
I love her attitude.
Honestly. So this week, this is are we award winning yet on the podcast, or we're just number one?
Working on it, mate. Just number one.
The number one listed in 2 podcasts. Is it in the world?
Certainly in the UK.
Yeah, okay. The world's biggest podcast.
Gosh, you're making me nervous here.
Actually, no point. This week, I'm sitting down with now the undisputed world champion, Katie Taylor. It's a pleasure and an honour.
Thank you.
And although I've been working with you for 4 years,
that's right, yeah, 3 years. 3 years, yeah.
I have a massive respect for you. I admire you, but you never really. It's not that you have to open up to me, but you're just so.
I don't give much away.
Yeah. I mean, in a good way, and you're just so driven to succeed the goal. And the cumulative effect of that is, winning the undisputed championship at Madison Square Garden, but the amateur record, the 6 European Championships, the 5 World Championships, Olympic gold. And the biggest, most astonishing thing about you is that they've just made a film on you.
That's right,
and you've not even watched it. I mean, who does that? Can I just tell you that if anyone's out there who does ever want to make a film on me, I would have watched it 1,000 times within the first week.
You watched my film, just your part.
Well, that's what you said. I did send you a clip from the film, and it was me in it, and you were like, "Did you send me that because you were talking?" I said, "Yeah, that's true. But that is astonishing. But that is like you all over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I don't need to watch it. I as I said before,
your life.
I know my own life.
It's an incredible achievement. But I like the stories when we talk about you growing up. And how you used to go into the gyms pretending you were a boy, basically. When did you first find boxing?
Well, my dad was a boxer and my 2 older brothers boxed as well. So boxing was just in the family when I was growing up. And I think the first time I walked into a boxing gym was maybe when I was 8 or 9 years of age. And there's no women boxing at all at that stage. Women's boxing wasn't even allowed in our country at that time. So I was growing up sparring with the guys and in the end, we just had to pretend I was a boy, getting to get fights, basically, to get some competition. And
you'd go into these competitions as Kay Taylor?
Just as Kay Taylor, yeah.
And with the head guard on? So you'd walk into the gym with the head guard on?
Exactly, yeah, with the hair tucked up to the headgear. And there used to be uproar every time I took the headgear off then at the end of a fight.
So
and
you'd
they
do
realised,
that and then they'd realise that,
Yeah, exactly. But I was just oblivious to it all, really. I was just getting in there fighting and getting out of the ring, and my parents had to deal with the backlash of all that, but I didn't really know what was going on.
For a young girl to go to a boxing club, especially when there are no other girls.
Yeah.
You know, that was groundbreaking at the time. And I guess people must have been talking about it locally as well. And you were probably a little cult hero at 9 or 10.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of uproar about it when I was younger, although I was protected from all that, and my parents did a great job at protecting me from all the negative comments or whatever. But yeah, it was unknown back then for a girl to box, and I think the most satisfying part about this whole journey is seeing every boxing club in the country just packed with female boxers now. I think that's my greatest legacy, really. Just every single club back home in Ireland is just jammed with female boxers, and the talent that's coming up there is absolutely incredible.
What was the jump from the going in and pretending you were a boy and beating the boys up as well to those European championships and things like that? Because there was no, as there is now, national ABAs and stuff like that. So did you introduce the funding element into women's boxing in Ireland as well? Yeah,
so I was training and preparing with the guys all year round, but I had no competitions really to go to. My first official fight was when I was 15 years of age against Alana Murphy from Belfast. That was the first official female fight in the country. And And then my first European gold medal was when I was 18 years of age, and just from then on, I got funded and supported from the government, and now it's just a common thing. Now all the female boxers back home are on good money from the amateur team. And
women's boxing wasn't in the Olympics, and I think this is part of your story that I think doesn't get told enough.
Yeah.
I think it's so fascinating. Talk us through the steps where you decided you were the person that was going to try and make sure women's boxing got to the Olympics.
Yeah, so ever since I put on a pair of gloves, I think even before then, when I was 5 or 6 years of age, me and my brothers used to mess around in the kitchen with the gloves on. It was just natural for me to put the gloves on and to punch and to box, and I always had a dream from then on to become an Olympic champion, and that was a very strange dream to have because women's boxing wasn't actually an Olympic sport at the time, but my parents always told me, you're going to change the game, you're going to change women's boxing forever.
It's a bit like, you probably haven't seen the Eddie the Eagle film.
No,
right, where he's trying to find something that he could be Olympic champion at, and he's going through all these different disciplines, and finally he says to his mum and dad, I'm going to do ski jumping. And with this, you actually wanted to do something that wasn't even in the Olympics. So you had to petition them personally, or was it through the Irish funding system as well?
Yeah, through both really. We were pushing first of all for women's boxing to be a legal sport, I guess, in Ireland first, and then once we got that, we were pushing the Olympic Committee to add women's boxing to the Olympics, and every major competition we were going to the main guys and really putting pressure on them, and I got chosen to box in front of the Olympic Committee in Chicago. I boxed against a Canadian girl, I think, and I was told before that fight that this fight will determine whether women's boxing is going to be in the Olympic Games or not.
I've seen clips of that. You gave her a right pasting, didn't you?
Yeah, I think they told me.
He was on a mission that day. You had to be careful not to make it a mismatch.
Well, he told me just make sure you don't stop her, but I did stop her.
Yeah. Was your mum behind that as well? Like, I can just imagine your mum, like, literally going out with like a placard. Get Katie in the Olympics. We want the Olympics. Was she quite vocal, like, in the system growing up, or was it more your dad?
Definitely, they're both really. Yeah. But I remember when I was smaller. Maybe when I was 11 or 12 years of age, someone was talking on the radio saying that women's boxing shouldn't be allowed, and my mum got on the radio and gave them a right pace. And I always remember that interview. I just thought it was absolutely incredible how my mum stuck up for me and really fought for me from a very early age. I definitely wouldn't be in the position I am now without the support from both my parents, really.
People say to me, do you think if Katie Taylor was a little bit more outspoken or did more media, that she'd be a bigger star? And I said, yeah, but I think part of the fascination with Katie Taylor is that closeness, you know, that she is so, she's almost like that sort of monastic lifestyle of like train, sleep, religion, train, sleep. I know. When I talk about religion and your faith, like, that's something that's massively important to you, isn't it? I mean, you see even on your gown and stuff like that, your favourite psalms and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Where did that come from?
That pretty much came from my mum. My mum obviously brought us up as Christians. We went to church every Sunday, but before then, we were living in a kind of a wild house, and when my mum started going to church and kind of gave her life to the Lord, our household just completely changed overnight. There was so much peace in our house, and our lifestyle just completely changed from then on in. We just grew up knowing that that God just had us in our hands. And
do you think that gives you the balance in the sport as well, where it is a crazy sport? I think sometimes people overthink things, but you put your faith in God that everything will be okay.
There's nothing better than just relying on God, because every other single person there is going to fail you at some stage, but God is never going to fail you. He's never going to leave you.
Does that help you to put less pressure on yourself? It's like, I know you've got to train and commit yourself 100% to that, but from then, it's like, what will be.
I know
and also
that.
Take your defeats better.
Yeah, I definitely do learn from your defeats, and I definitely do put those things into perspective as well. The most important thing in my life is my relationship with God, and everything else is secondary.
More so than your boxing.
Absolutely, I wouldn't be in the position that I am today without God in my life and without the gift that He's given me. I really feel like this is a gift from God, and I really feel like I was born to box.
Well, I think the gift from God also came in the 2012 Olympics.
Yeah.
Definitely for the Irish people, anyway.
Yeah.
In London 2012 must have just been incredible.
It was definitely just a childhood dream. Every single day growing up for me, I just thought about the Olympic Games, but I don't think it was until the next day where it kind of really hit me. I was around a table in McDonald's actually with my family, and all the sacrifices that they've actually made for me as well, and I had the gold medal just sitting in my pocket in McDonald's, and that to me was just, oh gosh, I can't believe we're actually here and we've actually done it.
And obviously when you went back to Ireland, the scenes were just incredible. I mean, obviously, we know the Irish get behind their own, but when they win a major Olympic medal, must have been incredible returning home. Oh,
it was amazing. I think must have been maybe like 40 or 50,000 on Bray Seafront, I think, when I was coming home. Incredible scenes, really.
Talking about Bray Seafront, what were you like as a child? Were you like a bit of a tearaway, I can imagine?
I was definitely a bit of a tomboy, like I said, and one of the school reports that we got, my mum always laughs about it, was what they said at the end of the school report, that Katie's very aggressive in the schoolyard. So I don't know what that was about.
Well, we know why now.
Yeah. But I was actually really, really quiet as a child, but I guess sport was where I really felt like I could express myself, and I really felt at home, say whether I was on the football pitch or in the ring. Sport was where I really I really brought out my personality, I think.
You talk about what God has given you. What has boxing given you?
You do learn so much about yourself. I think I always say to people, if you go through a tough training camp, the ups and downs of a training camp, the highs and lows, you can get through absolutely anything. And
do you think you're addicted to the sport? Do you think that it's something that, I mean, if it was taken away from your life?
Yeah.
Because I'm not sure what you do without boxing.
I don't know. I think
you won't even let me give you 3 weeks off. Normally, you go back to Ireland for a week or two, and it's like, right, I'm going back. I'm training.
I know.
Do you see yourself with a future in the sport?
Yeah, I mean, right now I really don't know what I would do once I retire from the sport. But I do think there's definitely seasons in your life, different seasons, but I definitely would like to stay involved in the sport, I think. Or else I might get married and have a few kids, who knows. But
I know you said that. I'm not sure you got time for that. I agree. After 2012, tell me about the decision to go to Rio 4 years later. So you just decided, I'm going to go again.
I think at the time I just didn't really have any desire for the pro game, really, and I didn't really see any future in women's professional boxing back then for whatever reason. But I think it was on the fly home from the London Olympics I actually made my decision to stay amateur and go for another gold medal in Rio. But obviously, unfortunately, that didn't happen. That was probably the worst year of my career in 2016, and I just needed a change. I needed a whole new mindset, really, and that's when I did decide to turn pro. That's when I messaged you and asked you, would you be interested? And
that was a great day, and I'm going to put up that message now because I always do it, and I always do it in press conferences.
I was trying to talk myself up.
Yeah, you were. Yeah, no, but it was amazing because I remember watching your Rio fight and seeing you after, and I was just, you were devastated. I mean, you were absolutely in pieces.
Heartbroken,
And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden the phone goes, and we're going back to the 3rd of October 2016. Wow, not even 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's right. I was actually over, that was the first time I actually went over to Connecticut to Ross, my coach, and I was going around some of the pro gyms. I was sparring a few of the pros over there, and that's where my appetite actually grew for the pro game, and that's when I actually messaged you.
So you said, "Hi Eddie, hope you're well. I hope you don't mind me reaching." I mean, this is not. Did you actually write this? Because no, but there's nothing too cringy now. But it was like this. It's almost like professionally written. Not saying you're not capable of this, but it's like.
Actually, my brother Pierre had me write that.
Okay, that makes sense. Because I was going to say, like, the commas are in the right place. There's full stops.
I did go to school, though.
Hi Eddie, hope you're well. I hope you don't mind me reaching out to you like this out of the blue. I've been seriously considering turning pro the last few months. I think I could do for women's pro boxing what I did for the amateur sport. Bring it into focus and generate a serious interest. I've already got a global profile and a great fan base. I'm thinking you definitely didn't write.
cheek of me.
But, Kate, knowing you, there is no way you wrote this. I reckon you just went to Peter. Pete, write to Eddie.
I'll just copy and paste.
Exactly, yeah. I'm wondering if you'd be interested in talking more about this. Much appreciated, Katie. I went back the next day. I did make you wait. Nearly 24 hours.
Yeah. I was checking my phone every hour.
It says seen at the bottom. It still hasn't replied. Hi, Katie. I'm very interested. What's the best number to reach you on? You came back. Oh, actually, you came back a couple of hours later. You didn't make me wait 24 hours. And then I remember Brian calling me.
Yeah, that's when I got in touch with Brian and I said, listen, Brian, I really need you to help me out here.
But obviously, I've known Brian. I have to be nice to him because he's sitting a few yards away. But known Brian a long time. Got a very good reputation. And I have to be honest, like, at that stage, I was intrigued. But women's boxing was nowhere. I mean,
exactly.
Like in terms of it was happening, but there wasn't really any interest. I think your timing was so perfect in a world where broadcasters started to embrace women's sport a lot more.
We really didn't know how it was going to go when I first sat with you in your office there 3 years ago.
Well, I just had to pretend that I didn't know. I did a little bit of research. I was like straight on the internet. I was like, right, women's boxing, Google. And then you flew over. And I remember the day really well, actually.
Yeah.
You came in and then we went for lunch.
That's right.
I actually
very fancy restaurant.
I borrowed my dad's car to really impress him. I remember that. And you were like, oh, is this your car? I was like, yeah, 100%. And then you sat there and I was just like, you were almost pitching to me, like, about yourself. And it was like...
It was just so exciting for me and my family. I mean, that was the start of a whole new journey for me, and the hunger was back again for the first time in a long time, and I was so passionate about the sport again for the first time in a long time as well, and that to me is just absolutely everything. I have to enjoy what I'm doing. I have to have that passion for my sport, and I think that year in 2016 was such a low year for me, and after the Rio Olympics so many people were actually writing me off as well, and it was a really, really tough time for me. And now here I am as the undisputed champion on top of the world again, the pinnacle of the sport.
So I've always got this plan for fighters that I represent. The brand, the look. And I'm thinking, Katie Taylor, she's got to wear the Irish shorts. And this is like, it's like when I suggest to AJ his ring walk music. They sort of go, great idea. And I think, but you are always going to do your own thing.
I definitely wouldn't compromise who I am, that's for sure.
That's the point. I mean, because when we talk about sponsorships and stuff that you've turned down in the past, and if it, like you say, if it compromises who you are, or if more so it affects your training or your boxing, it's just an absolute no. No,
that's it. And my training comes first for those type of things, and the sponsors have to suit me as well, have to suit my personality. That's why it is important to get the right sponsor on board, and it has to be worth a bit of money as well, because these obviously want some of your time as well. Exactly.
So we go back to that debut, and I remember going into your dressing room. It's just one of, like, it's quite scary.
Really?
Like, especially when you don't. Now I go in, I don't even go in. Because I just pop in once. I go.
It's a quiet dressing.
And I couldn't, like, that night. We knew really you were ready for a world title at any time. But we still had to build you in a way. Before you were ready.
And there are things that I didn't really understand about the pro game. I'm learning more and more about it each time, and I'm definitely having a better understanding of the pro game now than obviously I did back then. But I'm like, no, get me a world title. I need a world title fight now.
Right.
You're like,
you were like, no. It was hard holding you back.
And
of course, the first one come, Anahi Sanchez.
That's right.
But I kind of felt like, the most pleasing thing about Saturday just passed, and we'll talk about it in a minute, was you've done it. What we sat down in the office a couple of years ago to said, I want to be undisputed champion. I want to win all the belts.
That's right.
You've done it so quickly. I have to tell you, I didn't expect it to happen this quickly. Not because of your ability, but just how long it takes to accumulate belts. We hit a couple of roadblocks, and I think sometimes you might know about them, and sometimes it's just me and Brian.
Yeah, that's right.
But she was rough and tough, Persoon. I mean, in a fight that quite honestly could have gone either way. Talk us through that fight. You're sitting here now, you got a black eye, you got a cut on your nose. Did you have stitches in your head? I saw a couple of big gashes in your head.
That's right,
as well.
I got stitches on the top of my head here. But we knew it was going to be a very, very tough fight. We knew right from the start that she was going to be my toughest fight. That's why we left her until last, I guess. I needed that bit more experience, I think, fighting a girl like her. But I really could have went either way. It was so close.
Do you read social media comments?
I haven't really read much this weekend because I know a lot of them are, very negative. So
they're not negative, but people are saying some people think you won, some people think she won, a lot of people gave it a draw. I had you losing the last round for a draw, and I watched it again last night. And all the quality came from you, but she was absolutely relentless. And I can see if you're scoring aggression and clumsiness, so
she's a very hard person to look well against.
I know you, and I know that won't satisfy you because you're a perfectionist. You would want 100% of the people to think that you've won that fight.
Absolutely.
And by the way, it's one of the best fights I've ever seen for women's boxing. So as a promoter, I want to do it again. I don't want to see you in too many fights like that.
Yeah, I know. I think I was giving everyone a nervous breakdown, my family and my corner. But the rematch is definitely inevitable, isn't it? That's going to be a huge fight again, and it's a fight that people are going to love. But I think next time I fight her, it's definitely going to be a lot easier for me. It wasn't my best performance.
Why do you think that was?
Just sometimes you get in there and you feel a bit flat or whatever. But
why do you think
that's not going to happen again?
Sometimes, as fit as you are, and I think this is actually when you talk about AJ as well, same kind of thing.
Yeah, it's something that you can't explain.
Do you think it's
really
the occasion, the fight week?
I think I'm actually used to the big occasion now at this stage, and I love the big occasion. But sometimes you can't really explain why you feel that way. But that's when you have to show a lot of heart. That's when you do have to dig deep. And I know how to dig deep. I'm in the trenches every single day in training in Connecticut with Ross. I'm in really, really tough spars, and I know exactly what to do in those situations. And that's when you do have to show a big heart. And I was tired early on in that fight, but I did dig deep. And
last round, you were tired in the third round. In the 10th round, you were really, really out on your feet. I mean, not that you were hurt, but just exhaustion.
Just tired and trying to fight back and digging deep. And I knew that was a fight where I was going to have to show that I had a big heart, and that's exactly what I did show. And here I am as the undisputed champion.
You talk about your training camp in Connecticut. What do you do there? I could just see you, like, literally waking up, go to the gym, come back, have a rest, go back to the gym, come back to the room.
You've got it pretty much down to a T.
Sounds like right.
I know. There's nothing better for me after a hard day training, just relaxing in my apartment on my own. So I always say, God help the man that ends up with me. I'll be like a dog coming back into the house after a hard day training. But yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much focused on training when I am out there. It is very, very intense. The training sessions are just really, really intense. They take a lot out of me, and it is just about getting in, staying focused, coming back, relaxing, resting up, and then going again the next day.
And now you've done it. I mean, every fighter tries to be undisputed. That's like the holy grail, isn't it?
Yeah.
What do you do after that? I mean, this is good for me to know because I'm going to have to do it. But what is the motivation now?
I want to be involved in big fights, and I want to continue to make history in sport. This is only the start for me, I feel. I'd love to headline a huge show out here in America someday.
Well, we know it's a start because we had a meeting after you unified again in Philadelphia, and I said, well, I mean, what you got left, Katie? Like, 5 or 6 fights. You looked at me, you were about to chin me.
Don't insult me.
I know. How long do you think we're sitting there after a fight that was a much tougher than Philadelphia. Do you still, is there any times where you think, I don't know how long I can do this or want to do this?
It's actually amazing to come through such a tough battle and to come out victorious. That feels more fire in me, especially since I know that there's so much more in me as well. People haven't seen the best of me yet, I feel, and there's so many big fights out there for me as well. The likes of Amanda Serrano, Cecilia Brackes, possibly, Michaela Meyer. There's huge fights out there for me, and I want to be in history-making fights. I want to be in the biggest fights possible in this sport, and I want to be the face of female boxing.
Well, you are that anyway. You are that, but. What has made you achieve? Do you think it is that drive and that stubbornness and that desire, the will to win?
Yeah, definitely the will to win. I am very, very competitive. I don't think there's anyone out there who is as more competitive than me, really. I want to be the best, and I know that what I'm doing is something that I was born to do. This is a gift from God, and I'm waking up every single day doing what I was born to do. That's an amazing feeling. and doing something that I absolutely love as well. There's nothing better than making up and doing something that you absolutely love every single day, and I never take that for granted. Even though it is such a tough job at times, and even though there's times when I wake up and I'm definitely not in the mood for training, but I think the days are also the most important days as well. But yeah, I just want to continue to make history. I want to leave a great legacy in my sport. I want to inspire the next generation, and I want to go down as one of the best of all time.
Well, our job is to help you do that.
Yeah,
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah, thanks a lot,
I'm
Eddie.
so pleased to see you become undisputed champion on Saturday.
Thank you.
And we look forward to the next step, but please have a rest now.
I will.
And actually,
How long should I have?
It was the first time I said to you, you need a rest, and you went, yeah, I know. I was like, what?
I know. It's been a busy few months.
When did you last go on holiday?
Gosh, when was I last on
And
holiday?
where did you go on holiday? I imagine you have no interest in sunbathing.
No,
Right?
no, definitely. I mean, you get bored of the beach after a couple.
You go out? You don't drink, do you?
I don't drink, but I do go out every now and then. And
I can't imagine you going out and letting your head.
At
You do
12
like
o'clock
100
at night, I'm
sit-ups
thinking
before you go, something like that. Or when you get in.
I just do press-ups on the dance floor.
Big bottle of Evian. You're like, how many litres have I drunk today?
Yeah. No,
I think you need a holiday.
Yeah.
I think you should speak to Brian.
Yeah.
I mean, look at him with that cheesy grin. I think all that commission. I think he owes you a nice little Caribbean holiday or something like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I think I owe him a holiday, maybe.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you might be right. Yeah. Katie, well done.
Thanks so much, Eddie. Thanks for everything.
To an amazing future.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
To become undisputed as a fighter is absolutely everything. I mean, we talked about Anthony earlier. He was 1 belt away. Now he's 4 belts away. It's snakes and ladders in this game. But you have to accumulate the belts, you have to deal with your mandatories, and you have to keep beating the champions. And that is what is so beautiful about being undisputed, because to get there, you've beaten everybody. My worry is that, and I don't worry so much with Katie, but what makes you move on to the next challenge? Or how do you readjust and reassess your goals to say, okay, I've done that now. What's next? And I think sometimes it's really important to have goals, but I don't really think I have any. I never think, if I can just do that, that is everything. It's a bit weird, really. You think that, like with the Joshua flights at Wembley or even the Madison Square Garden, that would be like something. It's definitely stuff to tick off the bucket list, but you've got to be careful that way, because there's never really any destination. It's like a never-ending destination.
Do you think you used to have big goals that you've ticked off and now you're kind of just looking for the next big thing to do?
Actually, it's the first time I've ever thought about this. And it's the first time I've actually realised I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't really know where I'm going. I'm just trying every day to work as hard as I possibly can and deliver as much as I can. I can't sit here today, if you ask me the question of what do you want to achieve, I have absolutely no idea. It's a bit scary, really. It's the first time I really thought that. I mean, I want my family to be happy. I want to put on great shows. I want to be happy myself. But I'm not thinking, I want to promote an event in every country around the world, or I want to fill up the Bird's Nest in Beijing, or I want to fill up a venue in Australia. It's just literally day by day, pushing yourself every day, trying to outdo the competition, trying to run the best business I possibly can, and trying to give people enjoyment and put on great shows.
So do you think that's maybe why you admire Katie so much, because she has such a singular purpose?
I feel like we're quite similar in that sort of single-mindedness to succeed, but she has nothing else in her life really away from religion. And we heard her talk about a family and starting a family, and that's just like I don't think that right now it's even under consideration, and until she completes her career she wouldn't even contemplate it. And and also fascinating to say, what's the most important thing to you? And she says, my faith. And I thought she was actually going to say her boxing. But I think she has a really peaceful frame of mind, you know. And I can see that where when something goes wrong, it's in God's hands, or, you know, and I'm not a deeply religious person, but I can understand the mindset when you have that faith to say, whatever happens, I'm following that path that I've been given. So when something goes wrong, it's okay, because that's God's choice. And that's the code that she follows, if you like. She fascinates me. She's always fascinated me. Because when you talk about no passion, no point, she's like almost the perfect guest, because everything comes second. Everything. She lives and trains in Connecticut in this little apartment by the gym. The gym is like an old school, and I apologise to Ross Enner, if he's listening, but it's a Kazi, as we call it. It's a tip, right? They make you run out when it's cold in the snow. You know, it's damp. It's like, but that's really how a camp should be for a fighter. As you progress, it's hard to maintain that level of camp, because obviously you have better facilities, but she just keeps it down and grimy in this gym, and she wouldn't want anything different. She don't want any fancy weight systems. She wants her road work, she wants her pads, she wants her sparring, and she wants it tough, and she wants it basic and just monotonous every day, the same thing. But how beautiful to lead such a simple life. It's just give me a gym, give me my faith, and let me go. It's a bit like AJ losing. You know, I said to him after the weekend, I'm excited. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I'm excited because you were the man. It was all easy, wasn't it? You know, people were patting you on the back. You were the greatest. Selling out stadiums. You got all the belts. Now, in one crazy night, that's gone. You're still super popular. You're still a hero to me and others, but you ain't got the belts. You're not the champion anymore. You may not be thought as the best in the division. So what are you going to do about it? He'll be in his hotel today, and all he'll be thinking about is the fight. And all he'll be thinking about is that he lost. And sometimes pain disappears through the days. Sometimes the pain gets worse. This is a pain that will get worse. But he's got to use that pain to drive him. He's got to use that pain to motivate him to go through the adversity and prove people wrong, come back and regain his world championship belts. And if he does, and when he does, because I believe he will, the story will be so much sweeter. And this is just the next chapter.
The comeback kid.
It is the comeback. It's the comeback chapter. Mm-hmm. And actually, when you look at it like that, you can sort of think, yeah, that's how the story goes. The story doesn't go, yeah, I won the Olympics, I won the British title, the world title, I defended it, I unified it again, I won it again, I became undisputed, and then I sailed off in the sunset. That's not a story. That's not a blockbuster. The blockbuster is, I was the golden boy, right? Won the Olympics, unified it, went to America for my big debut, right? I was going to crack America, got stopped in one of the biggest upsets in boxing. Broke me. I was distraught. Went away, worked hard, came back, did the rematch, won all my belts back, went on and become undisputed champion. That's the story.
What's happening next for you, Eddie? What are you doing after I leave?
So this week, I'm in New York. We're finalising our schedules for our American shows in July and August. I'm working on the new season in boxing. Strangely, don't ask me why, the season starts from September the 1st. I don't know why. There isn't even a break. There used to be when boxing wasn't quite as big. So I'm in New York this week. We've got the Golovkin fight on Saturday night back at Madison Square Garden. And then, funnily enough, and I don't mind telling you, so I expect the tweets and the messages coming in, I am 40 this Saturday, June the 8th, and I'm working. I wouldn't want it any other way. I fly back on Sunday, and then next week I'm actually going away for a few days to celebrate my 40th birthday with my family. And then the week after that, we're at York Hall for a Next Gen show on Friday night, 21st of June. We go from Madison Square Garden to York Hall, Bethnal Green. Again, I don't know if you've been to York Hall, Bethnal Green. You've got to come to this show because it is just the best venue for boxing. Only holds 1,500, but it's a great card, great atmosphere. And you got to get a salt beef bagel after, down Brick Lane. Because what you got to do is, they put a lot of mustard on it, but it's about getting the amount of mustard right. If you get the right amount, it just burns the nasal hairs on the nostrils a touch. If you dollop it on, it's no good. It's right up your schnoz, no good. So it's salt beef bagel, small on the mustard, and those kind of nights for me are my favourite nights. York Hall, Bethnal Green and Brick Lane after, that's a winner. And cracking on and looking forward to seeing AJ back in camp and getting ready for this rematch as well. I'm excited for that new journey, if you like. Thanks for listening. You've been listening to Eddie Hearn, No Passion, No Point. Don't forget to follow us across social media, like and subscribe, and let us know how much you love this show. This has been a Talent Works in association with BBC Studios production. It was produced by Andy Goddard. I've been Eddie Hearn, and I've got a lot to do, so I'm off. Catch you soon.
BBC Sounds. Music, radio, podcasts.